So you're handling Facebook comments?
Yes.
And I'm handling YouTube. Where am I coming through? Am I coming through there?
I don't have it up on. Are you coming through my?
Your sound here.
Oh.
Are you on YouTube there?
I don't think so.
Check.
No? Oh, yes. Yes, I am.
You are. That's double. The tubes are gonna clog the tubes. Clogging the tubes, bro.
All right.
Hey, people. Check. Is anybody watching to tell us if the audio is good? What's good, audio? What's good?
What's up?
It's Thursday.
I did. I used when I posted on our Twitter or Instagram. I can't remember now, but
One of them
did #Thursday.
Clever.
I should have done #Thursday.
Hashtag.
Like a guy, the museum guy that I was telling you about.
What museum guy?
Remember I told you this museum guy? He's like the security fella. And he...
Oh, the guy who doesn't know anything about the
like a cowboy museum or something.
He's coronavirus in the museum.
I guess.
He's a night at the museum.
Yeah, he's night at the museuming. So he's hashtagging all over the place. But
before I forget, let me press record.
Oh, yeah. We don't want that again. Josh forgot to hit record this time.
On the audio. So we use the YouTube rip.
I feel like we need
the laptop's higher.
Yeah, the box, but then we need 2 boxes.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And then we'll be under.
Oh, sorry.
We'll be on We'll be behind laptops. So we don't want to look like we're like hackers. Who that is? Can you hear audio?
Rodriguez.
Can you hear audio, John? He'll tell us in 10 seconds.
Yeah. On Facebook, you can hear us?
601.
Which
okay, we're doing good. Which camera?
It's super delayed on Facebook. It's really funny.
I want to put my leg up, but I look weird with my leg up.
You have it up.
I know, but I'm thinking about putting it down. There we go. It's down. It's kind of like a dog. You're like, what is he doing? And then he just goes, you're like, oh, I guess not that anymore.
He's like, I'm a dog. I do what I want.
Let's get started. It's 6:02.
All right. Well, what's up?
Hey. We just saw a movie.
We got a Broadway. We just saw a movie.
Yes, pop, clutch, turn, tappa. I don't know. Yeah, we just saw a movie.
Love it.
If you don't already know, this is Hey, we just saw a movie. See, I got that right. And I'm Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
Look at that.
We did an intro.
I learned something.
Yay.
It took 2 months.
Yeah.
But this is another what is it? Shelter. I want to put the leg up. I'm gonna do it.
Just do you.
I'm just gonna embrace it.
Do you?
We're doing another shelter in place episode. For those of you who listen to the podcast, hopefully you're not annoyed by this. We'll do some more just straight up non YouTube, Facebook record later for the podcast. We still have 917. We still haven't edited that we saw in January. We have Just Mercy. We still need to put out a couple of ones already ready. So we'll have some normal ones for you people who don't want to do video. But yeah, that's kind of the business end of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
how's your week going?
My week is...
I mean, I've seen you for 24 hours a day every day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell me how you are.
I went running, so you didn't see me those times.
Oh, that's right. You picked up running?
I just picked it up. I was sitting on the porch, just sad, all wet in a bassinet.
Yep.
And I picked it up, and then I ran with it. But yeah, I started running every couple of days. I need to get back to working out, but trying to keep busy. I know that some people probably out there like, running, go outside. But I'm like, you don't want to see me as the Thor in the end of Endgame.
Right.
Because we're all end up like
Beer belly Thor.
Yeah. And then you guys are like, what happened to Josh? what would happen to Josh if he never worked out and
Right.
never did anything and had nothing but carbs in his apartment.
That's quarantine, Josh.
Yeah, quarantine Josh.
Yeah.
That's the new pop. What have you been up to?
It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's only Wednesday. No, it's today Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Oh man, y'all. Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's been up and down for me this week. This whole everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Why so?
It's a big old roller coaster in my mind and my brain and my emotions. So it started to get to me a little bit this week.
Was the motorcycle scaring you?
Yeah.
Was it increasing your paranoia?
It sounded like an alarm, like in the Purge or something. Like
Oh, we haven't got to the Purge yet. That's like that's 2024. The Purge.
I guess so. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing better today.
That's good.
Yeah, I hope everybody out there. Hope you guys are all doing okay.
You guys are doing.
If you're feeling it, talk about it.
Yeah, I feel for you guys with kids. Definitely trying to keep kids entertained and not go outside, because that's all parents from the beginning of time have been go outside. So except for I guess when you lived in the woods and then when you were outside, just leave the tent, But since kids can't go outside,
kids can go outside. They just can't.
They can't really
play
go
with
outside.
each other.
That's what I'm saying. They can't go outside.
Hang out with their friends.
Yeah,
that would be tough.
So, to the movie.
Oh, jumping. Okay.
Oh, do you want to talk more?
No, it's fine.
I don't think we have much week to talk about.
I know. Yeah,
we promoted the podcast and hopefully people saw it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Two folks.
We got two watchers.
I think that's the thing. There's just a lot of stuff going on.
It's distracting.
D-Nice is killing the game.
And the questions.
We'll be competing with Sean in an hour too. Yeah.
Well, we'll be done.
Will we?
Yeah. So this is going to be the lead-in for what's the Instagram questions? Hip hop.
Yeah, I forget the full name of it. It's Hip Hop Trivia. It's at 7, but
just
don't leave if we're still on at 7.
Right. Listen to us.
And then
when we're done,
go over there.
Go over and join Sean's hip hop trivia. We should do that tonight. If we're done, we should.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna lose. But we'll do it.
You know what? You know what else happened this week? This was exciting.
No. What's exciting?
Is we ordered from Burley.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Burley.
Burley Beverages in Sacramento.
My cousin put me onto them. We went to their place in 2018 for New Year's. Actually, we went up to see the Winchester House. And then I was like, let's go see my cousin and his. Yeah, they were married. Yeah, because we went to their wedding.
Because we went to their wedding.
I don't know what year it is anymore. But we hung out with him. We had New Year's soup. And then my cousin was like, oh, this is ginger beer. And it's made by this company called Burley's. And he's like, oh, it's just a concentrate. You just pour soda water into it. And I really dug it. And then we went to Renegade in downtown. And that was guy was there too. Actually, no, they just had a booth.
Yeah.
Oh, he was there. We just didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
Second time we went, we talked to him. Really cool dude. Forgot his name. Really cool guy.
I need to find out.
Maybe. I don't know.
But it's cool.
He has a band I need to check out.
Yeah, it's a family-run business. Him and his wife, I believe, she helps concoct the flavors or something. I might be getting that wrong, but it's a really yummy flavors. This is like ginger beer and root beer and pomegranate something and
kavat.
Not kvass.
Kasab. No, not kasab. Is that kasab? No, one of them's a drug, so I don't want to say the wrong one.
I don't know.
Some with a C.
It's none of those, but yeah, it's really yummy. So shout out to Burley.
Yeah.
That's all that. So anyway, what was exciting is I ordered because we ran out. We were planning to stock up at Renegade, but it's canceled because everything's canceled. So we ordered online because support your small businesses. And we ordered a bunch of Burley and it came super fast. And it had two little ones we didn't order, 2 little trials. So that was exciting too.
Thank you, Burley. Not a sponsor, but if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to call on the podcast anytime.
So yeah. We got the Burley. We still haven't gone to the store. It's been
Tomorrow it'll be a week.
A week. We stocked up on stuff.
That feels like an accomplishment, actually. I feel pride in saying that. We haven't been anywhere in a week.
Yeah, we can get a little badge. It says, I didn't go to the store all week.
Yeah.
So, allegedly, we have the highest cases now.
Do we?
We did it.
Oh,
America. America.
America does.
This is you.
You mean the U.S.?
And I'm proud to be.
Stop it. We don't sing that song. We don't do that here.
All right. Yeah. So
Enough of that.
stop having parties.
Enough of that.
But yeah, much love to the people going through tough things.
To the movie.
What
did we watch?
We watched. I still hear us talking somewhere. Maybe it's on the phone.
Is it on your? Is your sound on your phone?
Maybe.
Go turn it off.
Okay. Start us off about the movie.
We watched Spenser Confidential. Why did we watch it? Because because it's in Netflix's
Netflix eyes?
number 10 list or whatever. Is that
It's in my hand. It's way delayed. I feel like we're in Bill and Ted's. Like, dude, don't forget your dad's car keys.
It's in. Is that like the top 10 things that are? Is that like
it's
trending?
it's the top 10 things in the U.S.
But just that's being watched, not like.
No, I think it's.
The best.
I don't think it's.
Because you can't really rate things.
It's being watched. The top most watched things.
Okay, so it's kind of like the trending list.
Yeah,
like
the Tiger movie is up there. Madam C.J. Walker, a bunch of other things. What?
I still hear us talking.
I don't know what to say. It's everywhere.
Sorry,
we're everywhere.
We don't know what's happening. Is your sound off?
Sounds. Yeah, just turn your sound all off.
How do you mute?
How do you mute?
I thought I did it. Oh, here button. Sorry.
Yeah, real buttons.
This is real.
Spenser Unlimited, right?
Spenser Unlimited.
That sounds like a
store at Concrete Mall.
No. Well, that, but it sounds like a male.
Shout out to Concrete Mall.
Yeah, it looks like it seems like it's almost like a competitor to LL Bean, but they don't have stores. They only send you stuff. They're
only online.
It's a monthly subscription. They send you different things for silver foxes.
I feel like now
limited.
I feel like now we have to create things.
We have to no. I'm done creating things.
What else are we doing? We're doing nothing.
We're doing nothing. We're doing a podcast and making music. You're working.
I work all day.
We're trying to do like 9 things.
You know, I read a thing that said something about blah 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 while you're shut in your house. And it was like a motivational thing, and it said, don't think you have to invent the next great thing or start a business or write a book. Like, don't think you have to accomplish some big giant goal just because you're closed up in your house.
What they're saying is just eat chips.
Yeah.
And don't do anything.
They're saying don't put pressure on yourself, because everybody's like, oh, now that we're shut in, now I can finally write that book. No, you're not going to write that book.
Well, maybe they will.
Maybe you will, but not everybody's going to write that book. There's going
to be so many movies about the coronavirus.
There is going to be a lot of movies.
It's going to be adjacent.
They're going to release one next week.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't know how they filmed it.
I heard that people are already optioning scripts. But yeah, it's going to be like someone lost their girlfriend during the coronavirus crisis. So it's like adjacent.
I think it might be like, it's going to be called like Corona House. And it's just people.
What?
They're doing their own reality show. Like Truman Show or Big Brother, but everyone's separate.
Doing that.
Oh, yeah, you watched the clip of that.
For dinner, they broadcast dinner. So.
Yeah.
Just watch out for the Gaffigan Empire.
All right, sorry. We were getting into the movie and then we got distracted.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
Intro to the real part music. Intro to the real part music.
All right, so Spenser Confidential. Who was in this movie?
Everybody was in this movie. Not everybody.
Not everybody was in this movie.
So this was a Mark Wahlberg production, starring Mark Wahlberg, Alan Eckhart, Alan Alda. There's too many Allens. His name
the old man, Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin. Too many close to the same name.
Yeah.
I love Alan Arkin. He was in Little Miss Sunshine, right? He was the
kind of senile old man. I like him.
I feel like if they did a live action of The Simpsons, he'd be a good grandpa. They just style him up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's always like complaining with somebody.
Yep.
But he also has his own agenda. He's not like just an old man who sits there and goes like, huh, what?
Right. He's not just some helpless old man.
Yeah, you're like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to get cigarettes.
Gotta do what I want to do.
He's like, you can't go and get cigarettes. We're in a quarantine. He's like, I don't care. I fought in the war. And he just walks off. And you're like, okay, just let him go.
So
if he wants to.
hopefully, if you're joining us, you've watched the movie already. But if not, that's fine too. We're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna
So
spoil it like eggs behind the refrigerator.
yeah. Did the movie stink that bad? Like eggs? Wait, let me read the thing first, and then we'll talk. Okay, so Spenser Confidential is, here's the little synopsis from, this is gonna be just like my favorite thing now, is the two little line roommate Hawk to take down criminals.
Nonsense. There's no nonsense at all.
That actually feels right for what we just watched.
That does. And it is as simple as that describes itself. Are we just gonna go in? Are you gonna talk about the characters?
No, let's just jump in.
Let's just jump in.
Yeah. Right. What did you think?
I got sleepy in it.
Yeah. No, I didn't get sleepy, but I could have.
You got disillusioned or disassociated with the film?
I think that if I had had something else to do while watching that movie, this is what I call a multitasking movie.
Yeah, it's a laundry movie.
It's a laundry movie, yeah.
It was definitely. I think so. This is the thing I was thinking is like, for me, I'm not like a Mark Wahlberg fan, but I'm not like a Mark Wahlberg hater. Like, if I met Mark Wahlberg, which I kind of did.
No, you did not meet him. Tell your story. This does not count as meeting him. If you met him, I met him.
Yeah, that's fine. I was closer to him though.
He bumped into me.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember who he bumped into. Was it me or you? Okay, he bumped into you. So maybe you met him more than I did.
This is what happened.
I should have picked a fight with him. You hit my girl, bro?
Right.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Say hello to your mother.
No, but we were in TED 2. We were, for like milliseconds, we were standing in line when the fight broke out between I was supposed to say Duck Dodgers, the Buck Rogers guy or whatever. And yeah, I don't remember the movie that much. We were held up for like 14 hours in the Fox studio for this extra stuff. And we got sandwiches, but that was just about it. But he was like 5 feet from me, and then he bumped into Michelle.
Yeah, he ran when he took off on the.
He grabbed that short chick, Amanda Siegfried and Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were like, "Let's go!" And
bam.
They did that over and over again for 4.5 hours. Let's go.
No, not that long.
Let's go. Cut. All right, here we go. Let's go. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I like Mark Wahlberg, but I think it's kind of like, I say this about a lot of artists, like once you know their deal, you have to either accept it or reject it. And especially for somebody who's been doing this, he's been acting for what, like 25 years or something. After the Marky Mark thing, I think he took a little dip and then he started acting. So, we've seen him do a lot. It's like Denzel. It's like at this point, or even before this point, you either like Denzel or you don't, or you just accept who he is because he's going to be the same guy. It's like Denzel does not play a different character. Neither does Mark Wahlberg. Neither does like MF Doom as an artist. It's, if you don't like the way he raps, it's not going to change.
Right.
It's not like when you see or Jack Nicholson. It's not like when you see Daniel Day-Lewis or something like that, where you're like, wait, that was Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, that's Mark. So I think it's just like he's playing almost the same character as like Ted mixed with the other guys. That's the kind of character, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but also serious. And so I think in this movie, I didn't know when the serious parts were and when the kind of tongue-in-cheek parts were.
Yeah, I feel like so there was this whole scene where he's chasing this car when the yellow sports car, whatever that was, drove by, and he was like, "Oh, that's the guy." So he takes off running for some reason, and he's running through yards, and then he starts getting, like, he falls over the fence, and then he starts getting attacked by a dog, and then the dog attacks him some more. And I feel like that was supposed to be a really funny scene.
Right.
I feel like possibly that's what they were going for, but it was not. I was wanting to laugh, but it was not. It was not. So
it was not laughable. Yeah, that scene was weird. I feel like they were thinking, oh, why don't we have the dog attack him, and then that will be the thing that stops him from getting the guy's license plate. But it was just this long, drawn out thing, and it seemed like,
oh, is that what he was trying to do? Just get the license plate?
Yeah, he was just trying to get the license plate. So he's running through the backyard and trying to catch up to the car.
License plate.
But as I'm saying, I think that scene just took away from the actual story. It was just, there were times in the movie where it felt like they're like, oh, this would be cool, but I'm like, does it serve the movie?
I just more thought that dog was really cool. I was like, that's a hardcore dog.
Yeah, but that's also like
his real life.
That's also like an American Horror Story a season or two. They just had Stevie Nicks do a song. It's like, okay, sure, Stevie Nicks
right. There's kind of no point.
It's fine, but what's the point of Stevie Nicks performing, in this scene? Is it really crucial? I know that she's a Stevie Nicks fan, the character, but does she need to sing a whole 6-minute song? Like, that's what I kind of felt like. It's like, do we need 6 minutes of this dog dragging him and moving him around in not a violent way, but in a comical way, when it doesn't really serve the story? And I felt like there was a lot of scenes like that where I was like, what is this serving? What's the point of it? So
yeah,
I don't know. That to me was the weird.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of weird issues. So,
what's another weird issue?
No, let's start at the beginning. So one thing that I've learned, not really learned, but noticed, is you definitely, if you're going to be arrested, which I don't know, probably people don't know when this is going to happen, but I feel that it is better
only rich people know when they're being arrested.
Exactly.
And they get to walk in.
Yeah. So I feel like it's better to be arrested wearing a suit, because those are the clothes that you get thrown back out wearing.
That's true.
Right?
He did get back out in the suit.
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to get arrested, guys, wear a suit.
Wear a suit. Suit arrest.
Mm-hmm. And then, so I came across this on Rotten Tomatoes, and I feel like this sums up how I feel about this movie. While the buddy cops at the center of Spenser Confidential are plenty affable, the comedy never arrives, as this half-hearted vehicle goes purely through the motions. Doesn't that feel like...
Yes.
Well, for
I don't know what that one fancy word was, but I agree with the rest.
And it isn't really a buddy cop, but it sort of was. It's
like a lone wolf with
somehow he roped this guy in.
Yeah, some other animals hanging around.
Yeah. I think, is this the first movie we both agree that we're not like in love with?
Yeah. Because you were like, oh, I like Downhill. And I was like, oh, after seeing Force Majeure, I was like, I didn't hate it. But yeah, this movie, I think that's exactly sums it up. It was just like, okay, we're gonna what's gonna happen? There's a guy who's really wanting justice. There's a bunch of crooked cops. There's a murder and it's been pinned on somebody else. And then, don't go. What do they always say? Like, you're going in too deep, but don't get in too deep. I think the only difference was that he had been fired. So we find at the beginning of the movie, he beat up the chief of police.
He wasn't the chief at the time.
It was a sergeant at least.
Yeah, he was like his upper.
He went to his home and then beat him senseless.
Because he found out he was beating his wife.
Well, he didn't. He came there because he found out that
there was something dirty going on.
Yeah, there was something dirty going on, and they got a girl killed.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was
right.
Yeah, she was trying to stop like all this gentrification and redevelopment stuff that was happening in the city of Boston.
Boston. Oh, speaking of Boston. Oh, hi Sean, by the way.
Hi Sean, by the way.
I take notes during these little movies, and I wrote down, is Wahlberg not allowed to leave Boston city limits? Because he's just not allowed to go? Because if you think, also this whole movie was like, his whole narrative was like, I'm getting out of jail and I'm moving to Arizona. He never left, but everybody kept telling him.
Does anybody ever leave Boston?
But everybody kept telling him, like, go to Arizona, get out of Boston.
Except for his kind of girlfriend.
And then one guy even took it a step further and was like, you need to get out of the state. He was like, don't come back to Massachusetts. I'm like, dang, you got thrown out of the whole state now.
The only movie I think he's been out of, well, where was he in Transformers? He wasn't in Boston in Transformers, right? There's that, and the Italian Job.
I don't know where Transformers took place. Maybe it was Boston.
Was in Italy.
Okay. So he has left Boston.
So he's left Boston a couple times.
They do let him out
in a movie.
Okay.
That's gonna suck so bad as Mark Wahlberg being typecast as always being in Boston. He's like, man, I can't wait until we film this movie. And
right.
Like, we're just gonna do it in Boston. We're just like,
So here's the Boston trivia. This actually I did find out. That was interesting. Hey Eva.
What up?
So where they lived, where he was living with Alan
Mhm.
Arkin and the other guy,
Hawk.
Hawk, that was filmed in the neighborhood where Wahlberg grew up.
Of course. He said, "Hey, Charlie, can we film at your house?" Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says,
Yeah,
"Say hello
Mark.
to your mother for me.
Come on
Say hello
over.
to your mother. Say hello to your mother. Say hello to your mother." Of course.
I literally thought
Maybe
he was going to say that.
He might own like 4 blocks around his
I
house.
thought he was going to say that in the movie. What did he say? He said something like, "Have a nice day." And I immediately went, "Say hello to your mother for me." He didn't say it. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, he's not a Boston parrot.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he beats his boss senseless. He goes to jail for 5 years.
He does his time like a man, like he pointed out.
For some reason, Post Malone decided his movie debut is going to be being a skinhead. Well, not a skinhead because he had hair, but I don't really know the technicalities of skinheads.
They just said the Aryan Nation.
Yeah, so
whatever. I guess that was their gang, the Aryan Nation.
They have no
gang.
land, so I don't know what nation is.
They're prison cells.
Yeah, they own that. Way to go, guys.
They own the yard.
White pride. So for some reason, he decides to be casted as an Aryan Nation guy. Can we just take a pause on Post Malone?
Yes.
I don't know what a Post Malone is. I'm gonna I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be that old guy. I don't know what a Post Malone is.
I don't know.
I would hear songs on the radio, and I'm like, who is this? And I would think it would be some tiny, thin black kid or Bieber or something.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, it's Post Malone. And I'm like, who's Post Malone? And I would always look it up and I'd be like, this heavy set, like trailer looking,
but you see Post Malone's face,
with tattoos all over his face. And I'm like, why is he singing all these pretty songs?
Right.
It's very confusing.
He looks like he should rap with gravel in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no diss to Post Malone in his camp. Don't bring them shooters on me. But
Posty, you can be on the podcast
Posty,
anytime you want.
Mr. Malone.
Mr. Malone, you're welcome anytime. But
yeah, it was just interesting.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing with Mr. Malone. His face is too distracting.
It is.
Those scenes, I was trying to decipher his face tattoos.
Yeah, I was like, what does it say?
Do we know what it says? I feel like it said always treat.
Always treat?
But I don't know. Maybe is it always
in
street?
his lip it says yourself. Treat yourself. And
then did it look like he had was it like barbed wire or something? What's Eva saying?
She says it would make it difficult for him to play any role without a makeup crew.
It's true. That's true.
I didn't think through that part.
No, I actually feel like he did a good job.
Yeah.
In doing what he was doing.
Yeah, his tattoos were distracting, but other than that,
but he did fine.
Yeah, I didn't think he was a musician playing
You know what though? I feel like maybe this is the thing too, is I think maybe this part was a little bit like his music. Like he maybe was supposed to play it a little harder because he was supposed to be menacing. And I didn't really think of him as a menacing. I just thought of him as like, oh, he's just the messenger boy.
When he's like, I'll kill you. I'd be like, cute. Yeah.
Cute,
with
cute,
kindness.
Cute.
I know.
What else are you going to say?
Yeah. Come on. Ooh, you're going to chop up my bones.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah. I wouldn't be scared of him in prison. Though he did shank Mark Wahlberg in the first scene.
But he was very proud of it too. And he was like, got you.
He's like, it was like tag.
Got you.
He's just like, so yeah, then Mark gets out of jail and then he's like, all right, I'm going to go and
he walks out the front door in his suit.
Yep.
And then he makes plans to go to trucking school.
Yeah. It's just all sorts of weird things. I'm like, okay, so you're going to, and I know probably Arizona is the place to go when you're trucking, but I was just like, you were a cop in Boston, you get out of jail for beating up your boss, and then you're going to become a trucker in Arizona. I was like, that just seems.
I guess that's why he was learning about cactus in jail. He was reading that book about cactus and was doing the whole thing about.
Sure.
Cactus live for a real long time, and then if you cut them down, you'll get thrown in jail for a year.
I don't know if anybody who's moved to Arizona has ever done that, but
I feel like I've heard of this, like people getting in trouble for chopping down really old stuff.
I'm talking about researching cactus before you move to Like
Maybe it was a book about Arizona and he just happened to
Maybe.
be talking about cactus. I don't know.
Evan said he's very talented, but
Super insecure.
He's super insecure.
Which one, Mark Wahlberg or Post Malone?
Post Malone's. Postmates Malone's.
Post Malone's.
Post,
That sounds like a restaurant. Post Malone's.
Yeah, maybe he
Right?
will. And he'll have tattoos all over the outside.
Posty. Hit me up.
He'll let
10%.
people tag like the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
You can get face tattoos with a side of fries.
What? That's a tattoo parlor then.
Nah, it's a restaurant that does tattoos.
That does tattoos. It's like, no, do not ever say it's a tattoo parlor. It's a restaurant.
Right.
That does tattoos.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's probably
yeah, but it was like, so he gets out, his girlfriend's looking for him because he doesn't want to deal with his girlfriend for some reason. I don't know. It was like it was literally like half baked. If you rewatch that movie, it's a lot of half baked ideas. That is essentially what even Neil Brennan says. What was the impetus for a Chappelle show? Like, it was just a bunch of ideas, but it was like, okay, you got this girlfriend. She shows up at the jail to pick him up, but then Alan Arkin's character, who was he?
I don't know who he was.
He wasn't
to him.
related to him.
I don't know if that was his parents. Where were his parents? His parents didn't care he was getting out of jail.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't know his parents. We don't know what the old man Alan Arkin's character's relationship was to him. He just gets out and he doesn't want to talk to his girlfriend, who's played by
Eliza
Smash.
Yeah.
Mush. She's a comedian. Like
Eliza
Schlischer. Yeah. She has a specificity. She has a special on
her name just messed everything up
on Netflix that I think just came out a couple of days ago. So she was in there. But yeah, he just gets out. He wants to start over. But then the day that he gets out, the guy that he beat half to death gets murdered by machete. And so then at first I thought the movie was going to be the Clear My Name, and I'm like, this is Shooter. I'm like, are you doing Shooter again?
But that sort of would have made more sense to me with like why he got all involved. Because okay, guys,
that also would have been a tired trope.
Yes,
as well,
but I feel like I didn't know what was going on this whole movie. Like, I didn't understand what was happening because he had no reason to get involved. They came and they said, "Hey, where were you?" Got chopped off, and he said, "I was sleeping." And he said, "Okay." That was it. He didn't have to get involved.
I think what they were trying to convey to us that he just wanted to, because they kept using other people's stories.
He was a defender.
Yeah, he wanted to do what was right, and he knew that the consequences could be death.
Develop that piece of his character very well.
Well, yeah, they did it through third party things because Hawk, who was played by the dude who was Abraham in Us and played the other, not the king, but the sub king in
the
Black
one that
Panther.
was up in the mountains.
Yeah, who lived in the cold.
Umbuku or Mbaku.
I think it's the second one. He talked about how his dad did the same thing and was murdered because he was trying to fight for justice. So they were trying to tell it through that, but there was never anything that made us feel like he needed to do that.
I didn't feel like he had a stake in this fight, and I didn't feel like Hawk had a stake in this fight.
Well,
it didn't really feel like they had to get involved, just they wanted to be involved, but I didn't really know why.
It was just like, so the other thing that happens is a guy that he had worked with that was maybe a rookie or something like that was also was Epsteined. He had killed himself in his car.
All right. But they were saying, that he killed himself.
They're saying that he killed himself.
But and then also that guy murdered it
was a murder-suicide. And Mark Wahlberg's character was like, no, he's a good guy. He wouldn't have done that. So he talks to the wife, and then the wife's like, this doesn't make sense. They came right into my house. They knew right where the drugs were that my husband was allegedly selling and all the stuff. So she was like, I feel it's planted. And then that's when he became like an investigative vigilante. But I think the thing is the stake in this dude, like we didn't develop any information that made it seem like makes you gonna do all this work. It was just like, hey, I worked with this guy for a year, like 7 years ago, and so now I'm gonna go and pretty much put my life on the line because he's a convicted felon, so he shouldn't have like a gun. He shouldn't be, running through red lights. He shouldn't be fighting anyone. All those things.
Why do you have those guns?
So yeah, it's like all those things get you in jail like that.
Yeah.
Like he went into he went into a cop bar and picked a fight with 5 cops. Like that could have easily got him thrown in jail.
Snap. While
For
we're talking
years.
about his fights, okay, I took a tally. Hi, Yvonne. Okay, what he was doing, really?
Well, I didn't even think about that. That it involved not with what he was doing.
Yeah, it was just like a fight. So the first one was in jail. He's about to, it's his last day in jail, and that's when Post Malone comes up and is like, "Hey, you guys, you need to get out of Boston." And he's like, "Why? Who? What do you care? Tell me who you're working for, whatever." So, so the guys beat him. I'm tangled up. Beat him up in jail. Okay, so that's fight number 1.
He fought though.
No, he fights. Yeah, I'm saying he
Yeah.
fights back.
He knows how to scrap.
But these are like these
yeah, it's
fights are
fine.
just
You're fighting
I
5
just
people.
I felt that I felt like counting his fights made it more interesting. Like I was really curious how many of these little scraps he was going
Right.
to get into. So that was the first one. And then, like you're saying, when he gets out and he's in the cop bar and he goes into the bathroom, as soon as they went in the bathroom, I was like, it's going down. All those dudes are about to come in here. He's going to have a big old bathroom fight. And he does. So,
Well, and can I say, for anyone out there, if you're going to get into a fight, don't go into the bathroom.
don't break people's stuff.
Well, no, it's just gross.
Yeah,
I don't even
well,
care
yeah,
about
oh,
breaking
yeah.
stuff. Because I'm like,
That was a clean looking bathroom, considering actually this is like supposed to be like a divey cop bar.
maybe they're clean cops.
That was a clean
They're dirty.
bathroom.
They're dirty cops, but clean cops.
But clean cops. Okay. So
Next-
okay.
next fight.
Okay. So there were 4. Oh no, what was the other one?
I know,
the
I thought
dog.
You wrote him down.
The dog.
He fought with the dog.
The
and
dog
you're
attacked
considering
him.
that's a fact.
I'm considering
fight?
that an attack. I wrote down
Oh.
attacks.
Oh, so he was just being attacked,
Mhm.
not really fights.
Yeah. And then
he instigated the bar bathroom fight though.
no, he just walked in there.
No. Because you even said like he punched that cop first because he was like, oh, blah blah blah.
Well, they were coming for him.
I punch him, but I'm saying it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. He's
Right.
hand shot first.
Okay.
So.
And then he broke the bathroom.
He broke the bathroom.
If there's a fight in the bathroom, the sink always gets broken off the wall.
Something or the toilet.
Well, here's the thing too. If you're gonna own a restaurant or whatever with a bathroom, make a really stable, sturdy sink. Actually, now most places like you don't have those kinds of
it's not a
sinks.
one-off sink.
Right?
It's, like
It's the
whole
counter,
side
so
is
it's
the sink.
less likely to get all but.
Now that you've done your Home Depot ad.
So then I think I put down 4 fights, and now I can't remember what the last one was, but it might have been that silly fist fight at the end.
Yeah. With
What
him.
was that? Okay, so y'all, so he's got okay. So the whole movie happens, and
the whole movie happens.
So now so it was like dirty cops and like dirty developers, and like they're building a casino. I don't know what's happening.
Okay,
Drugs.
hold on. But that whole thing, like, I still don't understand. If you guys know, please explain to me. I still don't understand what they were trying to do.
I don't either.
It's like when I watch
Help us out.
American Greed and they say like, oh, this person stole all this money from people to invest. And if he would have just invested the money, he would have not gone to prison and become a millionaire. If you're a cop and you partner up with some other people on an investment to do a property, like why there's legal ways to do that. I don't understand why
Right,
they
it's not a
had to
thing. I don't
run
understand.
drugs. It was just
I
confusing.
think they just needed something for the bad guys to do, and that's what they came up with.
We got to keep you bad guys busy. So I'm going to work with you on selling drugs and
don't
murdering 20-year-olds
I don't
that
know.
are picketing.
So
It's just kind of weird.
all right.
The whole
So
setup.
if you watch this movie and you like this movie, or even if you didn't, you can explain it to us if you want. I mean, not the people listening on the phones and stuff,
Afterwards.
but if you're on the live feed, give it a try. Try and explain
it. It just seemed like a whole, like, obviously the cops don't have the money, the capital to do that, but I'm like, if you're somewhere up in the Boston police force, you can probably get a hold of some people or talk to a council person and try to get in on a bid to build something and make a good amount of money without having to.
Do you think
possibly go to
so
jail.
it turns out, so there's, I feel like it was supposed to be like a dramatic reveal that his ex-partner was dirty.
Played by Bokeem
Woodbine. I knew, like, for the majority of the movie, that's what was going to happen. Did you feel that?
I thought about it, but I thought that I forgot in the beginning that his sidekick was already going to be the other guy. So for a minute, I
I
thought
thought
that
he was going to be the sidekick.
yeah, I thought that, I
character.
didn't think he was going to be the sidekick. I thought he was going to be the guy feeding him from the inside. You know, there's always
Oh, okay,
a
right.
Chloe or whatever
Mm-hmm.
who feeds them facts or like, hey, this just came in from the DA. You know, get to the
Jack,
house and
I can't do it.
just
Chloe,
do it,
Just
Chloe.
do it. There's not enough time.
No one can shoot me, but I can easily shoot anyone else.
I'm allowed to murder anybody I want.
So that's what I thought. Bokeem's
How many people
character
you
was gonna
think are
be.
binging 24 right now?
I don't know. I don't know how many people remember 24.
So all right. So
So your fight. Your
okay, the fight.
scene.
I don't know. So so there's this whole dramatic thing where the old partner, he's dirty. I think he's like in charge of all the dirty cops actually. And then
Yeah, he's like the big guy. He's the
yeah,
big-
and so then he's like he stole, I'm just gonna call him his grandpa. He stole Mark Wahlberg's grandpa and took him.
My grandpa.
He took him to the casino place that they're building, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill your old guy." What was he telling him to come there for? What did he, oh, they stole his drugs. Okay,
Oh,
so
right.
they ran off with this van of drugs. So he was like, "Hey, bring me my drugs back. I'll
The
give you your
classic
old guy
drugs for
back."
old guy switch.
Right. So he shows up and for some reason like busts everybody's cars, and then they get out and start shooting, and then he takes off running. And so they're chasing Bokeem's character, I forgot his name, Driscoll or whatever, chasing him, and then they have like this whole shooting at each other thing. And then he gets the drop on him, and Josh guessed correctly. So we see Bokeem's just standing there in the room, like waiting for Mark Wahlberg to come around the corner. And then Josh, I go, he's gonna come up behind him, and Josh goes, "Nah, he's gonna come from the ceiling."
Well, he didn't come from the ceiling. He just came from a higher
We
bit.
don't
Because
know.
I thought it
I
would have been
pictured
funny
him
if he
coming
would
out
have
of the
came
ceiling.
from the drop ceiling, like
Yeah.
like feet, you know, combat boots.
Kicked his boots through
Yeah.
and then jumped down.
Yeah, but he came from like a higher ground, like on the bar area.
He came from
onto-
out of view.
like from the top rope.
R-
Calling back to the last movie.
Okay.
saw.
So from the top rope, jumps down on him.
Yes.
Okay. So then Mark Wahlberg gets the upper hand. He gets the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's pointing it at the guy, and he's like, "You're going down." And the guy's like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna make you go to jail." He's like, "Okay." So so then for some reason, Mark Wahlberg goes, "You know what? This feels like a random dance scene in a movie." So he goes, "But first, we fight." And he puts down the gun.
He
And
doesn't
then
put down the gun. He takes the
he takes the gun
clip
apart.
out, takes the bullet out, and then drops it.
but then he's like, "We have to have a fist fight."
Yeah.
Why?
But the
What
thing
was that?
so everything in this movie it was like
I counted this
it was
as
like
a random fight.
if you've ever rowed a boat anywhere. I've done it, so you follow me. If you haven't, I don't have an analogy for you.
All right, where are we
But if
going?
you ever rowed a boat somewhere and then you don't tie the knot properly, but it looks like it's tied it's tied properly, and you're just like, that looks good. And then people are like, your boat's floating away. I feel like that's what's happened
This
with this
fight?
movie. The whole movie.
no.
There's so many different things. Like that scene was supposed to tie in all throughout the movie. How he gets his sidekick is they bond through MMA and boxing because he used to work at a gym, or cops the boxing gym. So he was boxing. His sidekick guy in the movie was boxing, and then Bokeem Woodbine, his old partner or whatever in the force, boxed as well. So they had that hand-to-hand combat thing.
Mhm.
So that's why he said, let's put down the guns. But there wasn't much tie-in that made me really care about their relationship to boxing. It just seemed like everything seemed like a vehicle to just get to the next thing.
It
Not
felt
really
like
a
Mark
point.
Wahlberg just really wanted to have another fight scene.
Well, I think it was kind of funny. I think it was like, I don't even remember that show on Netflix where the guy has a dog and the person tries to steal his dog. All the episodes are about him trying to get like food for his dog, or people try to like take his dog. But remember, almost every episode he punches somebody in the face at the end. And I feel like that's what this movie was. It's like, oh, it'd be funny if every day I like got into a fight. So I think that was the reasoning behind why he got into a fight.
Well, I liked the other fights. The other random fights felt like that. Like, oh, hey, this is going to be the thing. This one just felt gratuitous.
It was kind of like in John Wick when there was like,
there was no gratuitous fighting in John Wick.
No,
all of it was worthwhile.
No, but I'm saying there was parts in there where they're like, all right, let's put down the guns, let's fight, But I think also the other tie-in to the end. So at the end, all the cars are set up on the dog track where they're going to be doing this illegal drug ring development deal, and they've kidnapped the old man. He drives in this truck called Black Beauty, which was the truck that
it was Black Betty.
Whatever. Isn't there a song, Black Betty?
I don't know, but you got to get the girl's name right. The truck. She was a beautiful truck.
Sure.
And he had been.
Why do we have to associate genders with trucks? Why can't they just be themselves? Why can't they associate their own pronouns?
I apologize.
Thank you. So he goes to trucking school. So that's another loose thing. He goes to trucking school, but all through trucking school, he's not trucking. He's writing out like Driscoll's attached to this guy, and I got to do this. And I'm like, my stepdad used to be a trucker. You can't just like fart around in trucking school, like the lady said at the beginning. You're gonna run over a minivan and kill people.
Right. She was like, you need to be the smartest person on the road, else you're gonna kill a whole family.
And he was over there doodling.
Okay, can we take I know you're trying to make a point about the end of the movie.
That's what we do. We try to make points and then we tangent and then we come back.
Another thing I wrote down, this movie made me think of so many like just movie things that happen.
Yeah.
And have you noticed like when people, how many times do you make notes like people do in movies? They like write down a thing and then they underline it a bunch of times and then they circle it and then they draw a bunch of question marks and then they like, it's like they're writing out every thought they had, and he was drawing triangles to connect people. I'm like, you don't do that if you're really writing stuff down like this. Like,
I feel like if you have a whiteboard, you do, but if you're just writing notes, the notes are the vehicle to the whiteboard. But when you're just writing notes, you just write Driscoll so and so,
right?
Blah blah blah.
You don't, and you maybe draw an arrow, but you're not like circling things 12 times and like
maybe as a CD.
He underlined and circled and did like 7 question marks.
And then he did arrows pointing
all
around the underlined circles.
Right. And then somehow he animated it and it was blinking.
12 frames per second animation.
So every time we saw him in trucking school, he was just making these doodle notes.
Right.
For no reason.
But then somehow towards the end of the movie, he was mastering like backing up an 18-foot tractor trailer. And I was like, I don't believe that. You've been farting around.
No,
you've been investigating all day. You've been hanging out at the gym. You had no time to learn like when turning right over a bike lane, when is it okay to blah, 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 blah. Like he's not doing all that. So at the end.
Right. Okay.
He rushes in with at the trucking school, there's this really awesome truck called Black Betty. And he tries to get in it, and the lady yells at him. She says, "Don't you see the sign?" He's
Don't touch
sorry.
this truck.
So the whole time, 3 scenes at max that he's at the trucking school?
Yeah.
He's like, "Can I drive the truck?" Like, dude, you can't. You don't even know how to drive a truck. Like,
you
why
just
would
walked
they?
In.
That's like I go to get my license at 16, and I go to the DMV, and there's a maxed out Corvette. I'm like, "Can I drive that?" They're like, "No, you idiot. Obviously not. Like, that's not really what's going to happen your first day of driving." Or your 30th day of driving. You're not driving a Corvette. So at the end, we don't even know if he stole it. They never tell us. He just shows up with Black Betty.
We assume he stole it.
And then rams like 9 cars, all the bad guys' cars.
That was really disrespectful, by the way.
Yeah. Hopefully asked him, why would they say yes? Because how much is that going to cost?
No, he super stole that truck and he's never going to be a truck driver.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, going back to the illegalness of everything he did. Like, he did it all for the right reasons, but there were so many illegal things. Like, the overall result was good, but there were so many illegal things that it's really bad. Like, you can charge him still with a lot of crimes. Sure.
You know my favorite illegal thing?
In life or just in this movie?
No, in this movie was when Hawk, when they were on top of that bridge waiting for that truck to drive by, and he has a sledgehammer in his hand, and I was like, oh, I hope you're gonna smash that truck. And he flings it off the bridge and smashes it right into the windshield.
Oh yeah.
I found that satisfying. I like that.
You like throwing things off of bridges? I
like that he smashed the van.
Okay. We have a bridge right down the street. I'm gonna watch out for you.
I would never.
They're like, someone threw a bunch of rocks off of the overpass. And
I was happy.
And then you're like, I'm gonna go make dinner.
Well, I was happy that he did that, and it wasn't I don't know what I thought they were gonna do, but it was just a simple, like, we're just gonna smash the windshield.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I guess they didn't shoot up the truck or anything like that.
But also, I just realized that this guy was quite a jerk. Mark Wahlberg, he roped his nice roommate, who was also an ex-con, an ex-felon.
So that's the thing. You have two ex-cons
running
against
around
the city of Boston Police Department.
breaking rules and laws.
Very not plausible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing. This movie was kind of like a 1985 movie with some 2020 ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's kind of hard for these things to kind of exist in this world. Like when we saw Proud Mary. And that movie was like a movie from 91.
Proud Mary was worse than this movie.
Yeah, it was.
I'll say. This movie wasn't terrible.
Proud
Mary was terrible.
I feel like the only movies that are kind of going to work right now that are cop movies are like gritty, dark, like raw cop movies.
No, this could have been good if they just let it bake a little more. Like this was like an underdone pizza. Like they just needed. Yeah.
What did you think they could have done?
I think they just could have worked on the storyline. They needed to add more like character development. Like it just needed a little.
It was already almost 2 hours.
I'm not saying it needed to be longer. I'm just saying they needed to do better with what they did.
So what
did
they had to switch out? What would you take out?
Well, like we said, we didn't get any of his character why he was so whatever, like needed to defend everybody. We saw glimpses of it, but we could have seen more somehow.
I think that's true. I think nowadays what we would have done is we would have seen what in his background in his life made him a good cop and made him really want to strive for justice.
Right.
Like I know cops generally want to strive for justice, or they're collecting a paycheck. I don't know which one.
Like if he had died in the end of the movie, I'd have been okay with that. I was not invested in his character.
Man, you're trying to throw rocks off of bridges, kill main characters.
I'm just saying, there wasn't that heart for, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't.
Like you didn't necessarily care about that character if he lived or died.
Right. Okay. So I know I've said a lot of like. What was silly about this movie?
Things that will get the cops called on you.
No. But I do want to say that like things I did like. Right? I did like my favorite character, because I know you started asking that. Like, what's your favorite character?
Yeah.
My favorite character was Hawk.
Your favorite character was Hawk?
Yeah. Because he was the best. So Hawk was so he gets out of jail and then he goes to Alan Arkin's house, maybe his grandpa, maybe just an old man he knows, to stay there, and then he finds out that there's another dude staying there also who got out of prison. So now he has a roommate again in a very small room. So kind of,
and he's doing the classic texting with the sound on and then listening to music.
I thought there was going to be more conflict with those guys, but there really wasn't.
It was like half a scene of conflict, and it was like, hey, he does MMA, and then it was like, okay, cool.
Hey, okay, cool. So but no, I loved the Hawk character. I love that he was like this really big fighter dude, but he was very like zen and into like the what was he doing? He was just like massaging the dog and like putting crystals on him to make him feel better. And so he was all about the like, zen and energy. And he actually had some funny lines. And so speaking about the dog, when he was massaging the dog, I wrote down a note. I said, him right now massaging that dog and like doing the crystals and like cuddling with the dog is what every celebrity is doing on Instagram right now. Like all the Instagram stories, everyone's like hugging their dog and they're like, oh, puppy's my life. And
like, oh my gosh, like I've slept in the 3rd bedroom today. I'm so bored.
Not gonna lie. If I had a dog, I would be posting a million videos
of the dog. You would have been doing that way before this.
Right. So actually, it's not even celebrities, it's everybody. If you have a dog, you're always posting these cute, cuddly videos. But anyway, but yeah, I loved Hawk. He had some great one-liners.
I liked what's her name?
Lois.
Yeah, she had some Lois moments.
She sounded like Lois when she was screaming from the balcony,
throwing the stuff over the balcony.
Anytime she was screaming, she screamed most of her lines. She sounded like Lois.
I think she was great because I didn't know she was going to be in it for the most part. And then, she was just over the top. And she held it pretty well.
Yeah, she did a pretty good job.
She wasn't like, some people use the first scene in the movie, they're like full throttle. And then by the 3rd scene, they're like, they were like, hello, I want to tell you something. And by the 3rd scene, they're like, hey, Becky. And you're like, wait, where did your accent go? You're not, you're a totally different character. So I think she did that. No, Alan Arkin's always great, so I can't really say. He's
So
my
Eliza
favorite 'cause-
played the ex-girlfriend,
right.
because they were together, and then he went to
together and not
jail, and then they
together.
were not together, and then she was screaming at him,
They
and
smashed another sink.
they smashed another sink. She broke the mirror.
The mirror.
Guys, respect bathrooms. Do
That's
what you're
right.
gonna do, but respect the bathroom.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're gonna fight or love fight,
right.
respect the bathroom.
So yeah, I think she did a pretty good job. So she was your favorite character?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you
For naming
fist
faves.
to my head, since Mark Wahlberg doesn't put guns
That was
to
pretty
people's
funny. That
heads.
one cop, there was one fight scene, and so I was like, "Oh snap!" I think that actor like actually clocked him in the
Clocked him
side
in
of the
the
head.
head.
Because who would choreograph that kind of hit in a fight scene? That was like boom, like above the temple, like cranium.
It's bound to happen.
Punched Mark Wahlberg in the
You gotta
head.
be ready. I think I looked up Mark Wahlberg's Mark Wahlberg is 48 years old, and I was like, oh, he's looking pretty good. Like, I was trying to think of like older dudes that have been like the kind of sex symbol / muscular dude, because I remember we were watching something with Tom
That's all Mark
Cruise.
Wahlberg does is work out.
Yeah, but also sometimes age trumps working out.
That's true.
So like I remember we saw something with Tom Cruise the last couple of years. It's like, oh, like that 50 is hitting him.
Oh no.
Like he took his shirt off, and I was like, all right. But Mark, I'm like, all right, cool, man, still got it. 48.
He was only shirtless in one scene, and I
when he
was surprised.
Talking to his partner.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna find ways to take his shirt off. I did.
Is it hot in here? Is it hot in here?
Right.
Oh gosh, it's hot. It's really hot. Oh.
Yeah, he was
Taking
shirtless
his
in
shirt
one
off.
scene. Just
The shirtless one day.
whatever. Yeah. Actually, I realized Mark Wahlberg has a uniform. You know what it is?
What is it?
Jeans,
Uh-huh.
t-shirt, and then it's either the jacket that has the hoodie on it, or it's a hoodie with a jacket. Like a
Like a
hoodie
jacket.
and jacket.
Oh, hoodie. That's his uniform.
Always. I feel like that's what he wore the whole movie if he wasn't in a suit for some random reason.
Yeah.
And then he was in his Mark Wahlberg uniform. Now I need to look up pictures and just see if
put it all together.
this is actually his.
I think the thing
just making
about
statements.
Mark Wahlberg that's interesting that I think about, like if he, like being his parents, I think about some of the things they might have had to go through, because sometimes when he argues with people, he seems like he's arguing with his parents. He's like, oh no, that wouldn't happen. I don't.
Oh, he
know
does.
Come on, that's not. No, he wouldn't do that. It's just
Like he's a scolded teenager.
He's like, I didn't take the money. He took the money. It was Donnie, not me. I didn't. Mom, no, come on. Like that's how I feel.
Come on,
like,
Ma.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel like he is most of his
you're
acting
right.
over the past. Since he started doing comedies, he's definitely like shown that more. Like he used to be like kind of, I feel like a little bit tough, and now he's more like playful, argumentative / like don't blame me type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept seeing that. I was like, oh, I would hate to be like see 15-year-old Mark arguing with his parents. And
Was that Marky Mark when he was? How old was he when he was that?
He was like 20, so close, or maybe 18. He was really young when he did the Marky Mark thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite character. What was your favorite scene in this?
Probably something when Hawk was doing something.
You're like, Hawk's cool. Everybody else,
Hawk was cool. I thought the scene where Hawk was beating up people at the end was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
because the guys all have machetes,
right?
And that's that's not a thing they usually have in movies. You don't really see machetes.
Machetes don't get the love they used to get.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of out of work machetes out there.
Right. So that was kind of cool. They have machetes. Yeah, but so the guys, Hawk was just a giant dude. Oh, and the little boy asked him.
No, that's my favorite scene.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, well, anyway, so my favorite was at the end when Hawk was beating up all the machete guys.
Yeah.
And then one guy just took like a little sad swing and was like, and like dropped his machete and ran off.
I can say out of all the common movie things that happen, that is my favorite. I'm trying to get back to the thing, but that's my favorite part in movies, when there's like a really big guy or really muscular guy or whatever, or the guy with the gun, and then everybody tries to fight him, and then he kills or injures everybody, and then the last guy runs away. I love I love that because it's like the reality. Because in a lot of movies, people don't live in reality. It's like, I don't care, I'm gonna die.
Right.
Most, in reality, most people are like, oh, he has a machine gun, I'm gonna run, and then they just run off. But my favorite scene
worth it.
was so the guy who was accused of murdering the police chief and who did not, because he was a good cop. Mark Wahlberg's character and Hawk went in to help the mom and the kid because the cops came in and they were looking for evidence that the guy had laying around somewhere. He was wearing a wire. So the cops came in and they turned the place over, but the mom comes home and just sees her place trash. She calls Mark's character. They come over, and then Hawk's in the kid's room, and the kid walks in. And obviously, if you know this actor, he's pretty big, pretty tall. And so he says, "Are you a giant?" And then he just goes, "Yes," which was totally cool. And he goes, "Are you a good one or a bad one?" And he says, "A good one." He says, "Okay." He said, "Well, could you help me get my bed turned over?" And he's like, the kid just knew, like, okay, is he a giant? He looks like a giant. Okay, yes, he's a giant. Do I need to worry about this giant? No, I don't. Giants are usually good at things like being strong and being helpful. So can you help me flip my bed over? And I was just like, oh, that's cute.
That was a sweet little scene.
I was like, that was my favorite scene out of this action
comedy cop flick,
cop thing.
Yeah,
I do not consider this a buddy cop movie.
No,
it was a Dirty Harry style movie where they shoehorned in other people.
It's classified as action, comedy, crime.
Crimedy?
All of those things were in there. I guess. Yeah, they were all in there.
Yeah, they were.
All right. That's how they made the soup.
I think the one thing I'll say my biggest fear though, when I see movies like this, is if the cops were to knock on my, they're not gonna knock on my door.
No,
I just had this weird feeling like, are they gonna knock? You ever have a weird dream where you killed somebody and then you wake up in the morning like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, they're coming for me. Why am I asleep when I should be on the run?
I told you I had that exact dream last year sometime.
Yeah.
I woke up really
every 3
scared.
months.
Oh.
And I wake up like, why am I in bed?
Are you always murdering the same person? Because we might need to talk about that.
No, it's different people.
Okay.
In dreams you can't really see faces.
Can you not?
I can't. But I know who the people are.
Right, but you know
if
who
I
they
know
are.
them. But if I'm murdering random people, I don't know who they are.
Oh, they're random. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just,
just making sure you're not like murdering me in your dreams over and over.
I'm a serial killer in my dreams. No, I don't know.
Okay.
There's a reason why I do it. I don't know. But then I wake up thinking that I murdered someone, and then I'm like, why was I sleeping? And then I go, wait, the last thing I was doing was sleeping. And then before that, I was wait, that never happened. How do you murder someone while you're also sleeping? I'm like, it was day last time I remember. So, but my fear is that if the cops ever ask me what's like where I was on a night, I don't remember, or like you're out of town or you go somewhere.
All right, so you got no real alibi.
Right. And so that's why I keep you by my side all the time. That is the only reason, so that I always have an alibi. Like,
yeah,
I was with her. She can vouch for me. But yeah, you just, because if you don't have an alibi, like that guy who was accused of murdering some kid, and then they were about to like put him away, and then they realized his defense realized that
this is a real person.
Yeah, you know the story. His defense realized that he was at a Dodgers game for the taping of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Best
and they
alibi
rolled through
confirmation
thousands of
ever.
hours of footage.
Yeah,
to find him.
That was an amazing story.
And it was like at the witching hour.
Yeah,
that they found that out before he was about to like be sentenced. So that's my fear in life.
Right,
not having an alibi, a solid alibi.
Okay.
So I just wanted to. Now somebody's gonna get me on a hook for a murder and then mess up my alibi. They're gonna be like, "Hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's have wings." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then
they're gonna like, frame you.
Yeah, and then they're like, "So and so got murdered. Where were you?" And then I'm gonna go, "I was with him." And they're like, "I was not with you." I'm like, "Yeah, you said let's get wings." And then they're like, "Nope, we weren't getting wings." And then
can we talk about something else since we're talking about murder? You're gonna love this question.
Okay.
So
is it about puppies?
No. So okay, so in the movie, there's a lot of like news reports, right? So somebody's always watching the news.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're announcing that the police chief had been murdered, or they're reporting, I guess I shouldn't say announcing. they're reporting that the police chief had been murdered, and this is something people say all the time, in an execution style murder, I guess is what they said.
Right.
So isn't every murder an execution? So that's why I wrote down execution versus murder. Like what? I mean, I get it, but isn't it really?
Yeah. You've been, but execution style puts it in a certain frame. Like when you chop someone's head off with a machete while they're looking down, that's almost like a guillotine. So that's execution style. If you
so more like execution punishment,
or anything. Like if you do it mob style, you could take the piano wire. That's execution style. If you
really piano wire would be execution
style. That's what they say they executed when they tell the. It's in ways where you've kind of almost like, if you can think of it as like a contract killing type vibe, it's probably more execution. Because whether it's the state or the mob or whatever.
So if he gets shot in the face, that's murder. If he gets shot in the back of the head, that's execution.
I think if someone tied you to a chair and shot you in the face, that's execution style. If they shot you in the face, it kind of depends. It depends on the shot.
If it's a random face shooting.
Yeah,
it's just murder.
Just shot in the face. But yeah, it's kind of like planned or kind of like put in a way to where it's kind of looks like a government or organization style killing. That's usually when people say it. But if I just,
you don't think they just use the word to make it more dramatic?
It could,
I feel like that's what it's for.
They could, but like let's say you ran somebody over with your car. That's more of a
you executed somebody with your car.
Yeah, but we're talking about execution style.
Okay.
Yes, you did execute someone. You took their lives. That is an execution. Yes, you are right.
Okay, thank you.
Those words do equate, but the style is the thing that they're saying. Okay. So running somebody over with your car isn't like an execution style murder, especially if you did it in another style, which is called crime of passion.
That's true. We're talking about style.
Yeah.
I forgot. This is style.
Yeah, anytime you take a life, it is execution or murder, or someone did die. It's kind of like saying, did someone commit suicide or were they a victim of? It's like they're still dead. So it's the execution or whatever is really just a form of definition. Because that's what people want to know when someone dies. Like,
right.
If someone was just shot randomly, that's one thing. If someone was shot execution style, then there's a personal vendetta. If someone was shot in their bathroom after finding out that they were cheating, then that's a crime of passion. So it kind of puts things in different, or someone was shot and no one was in the house for 10 days, then you know that that's a suicide. So it's just different styles. They're all death styles. His lifestyle determined his death style, says James Hetfield.
I don't know.
Metallica.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Death.
Well, that tangent is done.
Tangential
you
death
did
talk.
That.
Oh yeah, I like the part where he tried to get footage to find out I forgot which murder. He tried to get footage for something. So many murders.
The girl.
He just tried
no. Yes.
He tries to get footage for the girl's
okay.
murder, and he just walks another crime. He walks into a convenience store and then just says like, "Hey, I need to use your bathroom." He's like, "It's for customers." He just throws him $20 and he goes, "Give me the key." So he goes to the back, Jack Bauer style, kicks in a door to the security. It's not really a security footage room. It's the manager's office.
Right, it's a little office.
So he starts trying to rip wires out, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "That's the cable box." And he's like, "Well, where's your security cameras? Well, I need that tape." And he goes, "It's in the cloud." He's like, "What's the cloud?" And he's like, "Where?" Because he's been in prison for like 5 years. And I was like, "Oh, that's a cute little joke," because he hasn't been around for a while to know that all the security footage.
That's what I forgot to Google.
Is on Ring.
That's what I forgot to Google, because I did like that scene. But then I immediately said, wait, he's only been gone for 5 years. Like the cloud, I needed to Google when the cloud showed up.
In 2015, it cost you like a ton of money to put video files online.
Really?
Yeah. Like when I got 50 gigs.
I thought the cloud has been like on your phone since like forever.
You don't even know what the cloud is. The cloud's not on your phone. That's on your phone.
I know what the cloud is. I know what the cloud is. But
calm down. I'm not trying to take your kids.
We could access.
I swear.
We can access the cloud.
What?
Never mind. The way he was talking, he sounded like he'd been gone for 20 years, not just 5. Yeah. Like
so if you tried to,
he wasn't gone long enough.
But if you tried to upload, because
he also didn't know how to work the computer.
Hold on. In 2015, if you needed to upload 20 hours of video files to a website or a server or a backup thing, it would cost you a ton of money. It does not cost you that.
Okay, but
much
he was
anymore.
a cop.
That doesn't mean you know how to
Maybe-
use computers.
I guess
You
that's
know
true.
tons of people that should know how to use computers who call themselves
That's true.
computer XYZs, and then they'll come to you like, what does Control C do? You're like,
Okay,
what are you
okay.
talking about?
All right,
I thought you were
fine.
IT.
All right.
Remember? Giuliani was an IT expert, and he didn't even
Oh,
butt dialed
Lord.
so many people.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Never mind.
Never mind.
You
People
take
are
it
dumb.
back. People are dumb. But anyway, that was a cute scene because he was trying to
Yeah.
rip the cable box out of the wall.
Yeah.
He assumed there was a tape.
Give me the cloud. I think
There's
that's what
no
he said.
tape. Yeah, give me the cloud. How do I get the cloud?
Oh, my second best favorite character was Mark Maron.
Oh, yes, that's what I was gonna bring up.
He got to pretty much play himself,
Yes,
but
I loved him.
probably his Air America self.
Air America.
He used to be on a radio show.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a libertarian style radio show, kind of conspiracy theorist,
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
how Maron is the first 20 minutes of his podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's how he was.
Yeah,
Like,
he was very Marin,
yeah.
and that was I loved it.
Look, I never was. I met. I'm not trying to say I met somebody. I did. I
Uh-huh.
really met Mark Maron.
You did meet Mark
Yeah.
Maron
When we were flying to St.
at
Louis.
7 a.m. at the
7 a.m.
airport.
And I was
when he-
very cool. I
he
just
was-
said,
But he
"Hey,
was
man."
holding his shoes.
No,
still.
he put his shoes down because I said I'm gonna wait till he puts the basket down, the bin
Okay.
down there.
Right,
So we
right.
went through. I was gonna say craft services. We went through
Security?
check, and so we had our shoes off, and I was like, "Let me wait till he gets his shoes back on and everything." And I just it was 6:00. I just came up to him and said, "Hey, man, I really like your work," and he said, "Thanks." And I think we shook hands, and I left him alone.
Yeah.
because it was 6:00 in the morning.
And then he ended up being on our flight.
He was.
to
And I was like,
St.
is he gonna
Louis.
sit by us? And he did not. And I cried.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know the old Marin or whatever he said he used to be, but I'm very happy of his success and
Yeah.
where he's gone to
Yeah, me
with all
too.
the work he's put in. And
So
it's very good.
what I was thinking though is like the best dialogue I feel like was when was Marin's scenes. I feel like he probably just ad-libbed some of that.
I think that's
and-
why Eliza's
And then
were
Eliza's
good, too.
scenes were
I
good.
feel
'cause-
like they were all going off script.
right. Because I feel like they just spouted out whatever came into their heads.
Right. And it seemed more natural. Like,
Right.
There was a lot of dialogue in
Right,
here that
right.
just felt like I am reading lines.
I have
Are
to
you
say
reading
this.
lines? You read lines.
I need to
read lines.
communicate these
Do I
things.
pause now? You pause. And we
They're all fine actors. That it's just
Yeah.
sometimes what you're given.
Yeah. Whether
It
it's
is what
writing
it
or
is.
directing or the moment or the vibe. Like I know there's times I've worked with people and we're both talented people, but the vibe was weird or we were kind of off and it just made the whole thing kind of off. So
So here's
Who
the thing
knows?
too is this was actually done with what's his face?
whose face?
Berg? Peterburg. Peterburg. That's
Petersburg?
like a city, right? Like Peterburg.
It's like Pittsburgh, but
Yeah,
with
like
Pete's.
Peterburg.
Yeah.
I
Instead of
wonder if
Pitts.
when he was a kid, he like played games where like he was the town of or he was the mayor of Peterburg. Anyway,
Maybe.
this was the 5th collaboration between Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg. So the other 4 movies they did were Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon,
Yeah.
Patriots Day, and
Oh my
Mile
goodness.
22.
Oof.
Did we see these movies?
Wait, which one was Shooter in there? I think that's the
No.
last serious Mark.
Did we watch Lone
No,
Survivor?
No. I watched
You've seen Deepwater Horizon.
yes,
Have I
watched that
seen
working
Deepwater
on a
Horizon?
project. No, you haven't.
Is that the
I
one
watched
where
it, like,
what's his face gets eaten by a shark?
No, that's
Oh.
Deep Blue Sea. You're like it has deep in it. So
yeah.
no, Deepwater
Literally, that's-
Horizon's about the oil rig that exploded.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he allegedly saves everybody. I don't know if it's a true story or not.
Oh, Lone Survivor was the one I didn't want to see.
He was the only person that survived. His
Yeah.
troop was
I was
ambushed or
over war
something.
movies at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to watch it. So I haven't seen any of these movies. I was going to ask if this compares to those movies since this is their thing again.
I seeing Deepwater Horizon. I thought it was okay, but it was definitely like doing the motions type vibe. Like, well, this is where we're gonna go. This is what we're gonna do. Blah blah blah. And so it had that kind of vibe. But I don't know. There's a place for all that.
Yeah.
Like who's the guy that's was in Wicker Man? We just
Wicker
saw
Man.
an adaptation. Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Like Nicolas Cage is a string of movies that were like, oh, okay, that's
right,
cool,
right.
you know. And so I think it's the same kind of thing. Like those movies, it's like, oh, it's cool, you know. I
Do
get
you?
it.
I wonder if there's like lists of movies. There probably is somewhere, but like the best movie to do your taxes to, or like the best movie to fold laundry to. You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
gotta be.
since we're saying this is a good multitasking movie, you
Yeah.
don't have to be dialed into this one.
No,
It's fine.
it's very loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gotta be. There's a list. There's a list for everything. Everything has a list. I think yeah, well, yeah, I have a note here. I feel like a lot of people see this movie might think that that was Dave Chappelle. It was a Bokeem Woodbine. I think
Yeah.
as Dave Chappelle's gotten older and more
He
yoked,
sort of has
he
a-
started to
yeah.
look like Bokeem Woodbine.
Mm-hmm. I thought about that, and then I was like, I mean, obviously, I know it's not him, but he
Right.
was giving like I kept thinking like, yeah, he looks like him though, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, no, they have the same complexion, same baldness,
Mhm.
same kind of lip shape, same kind of silhouette. Because I was looking at both of them, and they just want to have them to use it. I just wanted to like pull out a cigarette. I was like, something. But yeah, they're both similar type people. So I'm sure some people are like, "What? A Star Is Born, and now this?
What?
Dave's doing tons of work."
So, hey, if y'all are still there, hi Katie and hi Laura.
Hey, has anybody? Let's take to the people watching. Has anybody seen this movie?
Yeah, did you guys watch?
What did you think?
Who's
Type
still
type
hang-
something.
Yeah, who's still hanging out?
in.
What are you guys seeing?
Are you chasing after your kids, but this is just still running?
Yeah,
They're like, oh, I
is this
forgot."
on in the other room? You forgot to turn it off.
We're like we're like Conan or whatever. You just have it on
Right?
while you go to sleep.
Is that what people do?
Yeah, that
Conan?
sex. Yeah, they'll have
Oh, okay.
Conan or the Daily Show or whatever on. That's
All
what
right.
all of them have joked about that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it's the reality of it all.
I
So I
don't-
think the moral of this story is
Oh, is there a moral of this
because
one?
this was the overwhelming thread that was said to him. The moral of the story is
Don't chase fights that aren't yours.
no, walk away.
Walk away.
Just walk away.
Yep.
Hey, you should walk away. Walk away. Everybody said walk away. But
That's true
did he?
because at the end, remember at the end, everything's sorted and fine, I guess. And so they're all eating lobster. Oh, him and Eliza get back together.
Yeah.
At the end, and then she's like, "I want to eat lobster. I want you to buy me a lobster so I can eat a lobster."
to lunch?
Right? You want to take me to lunch?
She's wearing.
don't know what accent I'm doing.
She's wearing a tiny fur coat at the beach.
Right. So they go to eat lobster, and they're all joking and having a good time. And then the TV comes on, and it's a news report that some fire chief is being charged with arson for burning up a school. And then he's like, "Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah,
I went to school with that guy.
Me. It's not me. I
And he's
didn't do
like,
it."
Somebody help me."
Is that a Bill Burr voice? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
He's
trying
like,
to go with the
"Somebody
most
help me."
Boston-y thing I can think
And
of.
then Mark Wahlberg's just mesmerized by the
So, yeah.
news. And everybody's like, "No, change the channel.
Don't do it.
Don't do it."
So they're gonna do a Spenser Confidential.
That's what I was
2,
wondering. I was like,
Electric
is
Boogaloo.
this gonna be like Fast and Furious? I mean, 9,000 of these. He's
They're
gonna just
rope
run
in
around
every actor in the
solving
world.
all these problems that aren't his.
Probably, if this does well enough. It
Do you
was in
think
the
he'll
top
get a
10.
cape?
Why would he get a cape? He's just
Because he'll become Batman.
because they were talking about who's
But for
Batman, who's
Boston.
Robin.
Oh, that's right. She did call him back.
Yeah,
I forgot about that
He
scene.
wouldn't do that. He wouldn't dress up. He would just be himself.
Okay.
He'd probably get more press.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do something for Boston.
Right.
But yeah, that's I think that's the thing that was kind of funny. Is everybody was just like, walk away. But obviously this is a movie, so he couldn't walk away, and he was going to win. In real life, he would have been shot dead, and we would have never.
Oh, for
heard
sure.
about it.
Right.
They're like, oh,
Or he'd be in jail.
Ex-cop, ex-con's body shows up in river.
They would all be in jail.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, probably that. They would have stopped. The cops would have stopped him a long time ago and thrown, because it was too easy. Like 2 ex-cons. This open and shut case. You just easily throw them in jail. So
Nobody online. Nobody watched this movie.
everybody's like, I don't know what this movie is.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
All right. Or nobody's still there. Maybe everybody's gone.
Maybe they're eating dinner.
All right. Well,
So
I think that's it.
yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
fine. I guess.
Whatever we didn't say didn't really wasn't substantial
It
enough.
wasn't Proud Mary.
It's better than Proud Mary.
It's better
is what I
than
would say.
Proud Mary.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion,
In conclusion,
it was all right.
it was all right. Go.
You know, I
give
will
us-
say,
Oh, uh-huh.
I do miss going to the movies.
I do too.
Like we're just sitting in our apartment every day, and
My
like the
popcorn's
thing,
not as good.
your popcorn's good. What are you talking about?
It is good, but I miss AMC popcorn.
Yeah, with all the salt, you missed your
Yeah.
lips splitting.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not gonna get. I don't need it, but my free birthday drink at the movie.
Oh yeah, you held off.
That's like an $8.
You should take a picture of it and then say like once we get back to
Actually, I
somewhat
should.
normal.
I bet
Be
AMC
like,
would
hey, it was
honor
my
that.
birthday and I had blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we miss going to the movies. We're pretty much homebodies anyway because we both kind of work from home ish. She works fully from home. I work quasi from home. So we would go to the gym and go to the movies as ways to get out. And now we don't do anything. So it's interesting, this new dynamic, trying to figure out how to live life and even do the podcast to where we used to separate our home watching from our movie watching. And now we're doing our home watching is become our movie watching. So we have to siphon off certain movies to do for quote unquote business or entertainment.
Well, yeah,
and
we're
other
just
ones
gonna designate some movies will be podcast movies. Some movies we'll just watch.
will just be movies.
It's fine. It's not that like too big a deal, but I do miss the whole going to the theaters and stuff. That's
Getting dressed up and wearing
Yeah.
jeans and a t-shirt and a
exactly.
hoodie.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
Yeah.
Those times when the movies were magical. So yeah, any last things? Any last thing?
Just that Hawk is a cool name. You can name your kid Hawk.
Kid Hawk?
Yeah.
Name it Kid Hawk.
Go to our website. Hey, we just saw movie.com.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Check out our Patreon.
Yeah.
Give us some stars on Apple Podcasts.
Here comes the government flying over our place.
Do you
Here comes
guys
the
hear
government.
the giant
Let's take a break.
helicopter.
Let's bask in the government.
That's a rumbly one.
And the giant. Yeah, that's not a Chinook, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know, but we should figure out the chat thing on YouTube so that people can.
It is chatty.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
something.
thought it broke.
Yeah, no, it's working. This
Oh, okay,
time.
we just nobody's talking this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Everybody was on Facebook.
That's fine.
Yeah. So do all that. Please listen. If you
Do you like? Let us know. Do you like the live podcast? Do you want to watch?
Because we don't have to do it.
We don't have to do this. But we think it seems fun, and maybe what day is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't really know because we don't have kids or anything else going on. So.
And yeah, we definitely want to get the word out.
Tell your friends.
We're not clocking big numbers, so if you are digging this, please let us know. It definitely does help with what we
have a Gmail even if you want to send us a lovely email.
Yeah.
What is the Gmail?
It is, hey, we just saw a movie podcast @gmail.com.
There we go. It's a really long Gmail, but it's there waiting for your comments.
Cool. So
I didn't love this movie, but I had fun talking about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I had fun talking about it, and it was decent.
All right.
If I was in it, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the funny thing.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
maybe I don't like this film, but if somebody was like, hey, can you make movie for this? Can you make music for this film? Or you want to be in this movie? I'm like, yeah, totally.
Love it.
I do a lot of things that
mm-hmm.
as a consumer, I'd be like, maybe I wouldn't like that, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Yeah. I don't like taking walks sometimes, but I do it.
Gotta get that blood flowing.
Yeah. Well, does the blood only flow when I walk?
It doesn't stop. It doesn't settle when you're just sitting on the couch all day?
It pulls
or in your chair?
But
yeah.
You said the blood flowing, it stops.
Just,
it was
I'm just saying.
Shut off the blood.
I don't know. Is that how we're going to end?
Yeah. Shut off the blood.
No.
Yeah. We're ending it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Shut it off. Shut this.